Rotarians and guests, it is a great day to be a York Rotarian, and welcome to the Rotary Club of York, a club that is so lovely that you may want it to be your Valentine today. I am your president, Aaron Jacobs, and I'm not your Valentine, even though I may be as cute as Cupid, dashing as Romeo, and as charming as Pepe Le Pew. Why did you laugh? I don't get it. And you know, Rotary's service above self is like a box of chocolates, Forrest Gump once said, because it is sweet, it makes everyone smile, and you may find a couple of nuts in it once in a while. But our four-way test isn't that nutty, and let us recite that together now. We should have it memorized. And let's just try it from memory. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? That, my friends, is the language of Rotary, and I think we are all ready for a great program today. And we'll get started because we're going to have, at some point, Dan may do the visitor introductions and the invocation by past District Governor Dick Brown. But first, I'd like to invite my second favorite Rotarian, Cal Weary, to lead us in the Star Spangled Banner. Calvin, they at least clap for you.
I'm sorry, everyone at home. Rotarians, please join me. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in some thoughts. As Rotarians, may all of our actions lead us to have peace of mind so that we may spread peace in the world. May we be responsible stewards of this earth, treating it with respect so that we may gain, I'm sorry, I saw my eye doctor last night and I think I'm still blurry. Sorry about that. So that they may pass greener earth to our children. May our own friendliness help spread happiness to all we meet. May our health be such that we can help others less blessed. May our business life flourish so that we may share York area pretzels throughout the world and spread this earth's blessings to those less fortunate in the process. Amen.
I am pleased to have the honor of introducing our guests for today's meeting. When I call your name, please stand and remain standing until President Aaron has welcomed you. Matt Blythe, guest of John Eister. The following are guests of Martin Fedorko, Lisa Fast, Dustin Betts, Dave Kennedy, and Royce Clemens. Destiny Combs, guest of Amanda Harden. Steve Smith, guest of Lori Broadbeck. Rebecca Countess, and Sydney Appel, guest of Frank Countess. Bronley Martin, guest of past President Al Sykes. Jacob Cardelis, guest of Tom Caltagirone. Bethany Shickley, guest of Cal Weary. And Vinny Canizaro, guest of Tom Donnelly.
So guests, today is a day of love, and we want you to share our love with you right now by saying that we love that you have joined us today. We hope that you love the food, the fellowship, and the program, and we would love to have you as a member of our club. Also, I love that someone invited you to be with us today, and guess what? Bronley and Lisa, you have to stand for the whole program today until you agree to become a member. Am I right? Rotarians, let us applaud our guests and those who invited them today. We got some announcements. The Youth Exchange Committee will meet tomorrow, February 15th, 12 o'clock via Zoom. And the IDEA Committee meets on February 19th at 8 o'clock via Zoom. These next two announcements I have to make are fairly near and dear to me, and I'm going to take a little bit of time with them because I think it's important for our club. And they sound similar. One is called Step Up, and the other one's called Level Up. So the Step Up Challenge reminder, I want to take a moment to talk to you about the Rotary Foundation. My goal this year was to have the strongest year in our club for giving, and we are on our way of doing that thanks to the Step Up Challenge under the leadership of Bill Hartman and his team. Please be aware that the deadline is February 28th to participate in the Step Up Challenge. This is a challenge that was created by the Rotary Foundation Committee to help you step up to your next Paul Harris Fellow. If you step up and make a contribution to the Rotary Foundation by February 28th, the club will match those points up to 500 points. It's a nice way to get a new shiny lapel pin, I can tell you that. So make your contribution as part of the challenge. You can do that online, or you can do it with a check payable to the Rotary Foundation, to the York Rotary office. Thank you in advance for the generous gift and the help of the Rotary Foundation. Do good in the world, and we are going to get there. The next one, this is kind of a special moment for me. If we could move on, I want to talk to you about something called Level Up. So when I was first asked to step into leadership of this club a few years ago and serve as president, I knew that I wanted to do something that created an impactful legacy far beyond my year of service. And we got to work on one of the visions I had pretty much right away. And it's something I've been working on for almost 2 years. Because the one thing that's been very important to me was not only to grow our membership, but to create membership opportunities for those in our community who until now found the full cost of membership to be a barrier to joining. I am pleased to share today with our club that my vision has now become a reality thanks to the hard work of the membership committee, the IDEA committee, and our esteemed board of directors. Today, I am announcing that the start of the Level Up program will now begin. This is a fund that will allow our members to propose new members who are up-and-coming leaders in our community, but aren't quite ready to take on the full cost of membership. Why Level Up? So here's my story. I recognize that all of my time in service within this club has helped me to level up as a leader in my home, in my business, and in my community. And it's created a lot of opportunities for me. This club did. And I would not have had these opportunities had I not been a member of the Rotary Club of York. And I believe that there are others out there that are like me and that are like you who can help level up in this club if we help them. But in turn, they will help this club level up in the community as well. And this is more than a tool. This is a commitment from our club to our community as the Rotary Club of York. And here's how it works. If you talk to someone about membership and you feel they'd be a great member, but they express a concern about the financial cost, they may be a good candidate for level up. Here are the qualities that we are looking for in a successful candidate for level up. One, this should not surprise you. They should fit all the normal criteria for membership that we expect of all of our Rotarians. Second, no surprise, they are in this for the long haul. They desire to be a long-term member. They demonstrate some form of leadership in the business or community, will be a self-paying member, a small business owner, or an employee of a small business owner. And finally, that they express a financial need. And this is where the honor system works, my friends, because if you're going to propose them, we are asking you as the proposing member to vouch for the applicant's need, and that's good enough for us. In return, with this program, if they are successful to become the candidate, 25% of their dues is all they pay for their first year. The club will cover the first 75%. The second year graduates to 50%. The third year, 75%. And that by year 4, we expect them to be a full paying member. And all we ask in return is that, one, you attend at least 50% of our weekly meetings and be a true Rotarian, be active on at least one committee, and of course, be current with your dues. Our hope is that this program will help to benefit the underrepresented demographics in our club, such as members under 40, people of color, women, and this is a big one for me, residents of York City and those who work in York City. But it's not necessarily exclusive on that basis. Let me say it again. It's not exclusive on that basis. That's just our hope. The only real catch to this, my friends, is that there are only a limited amount of spots available each year based on the budget to propose members, and that the final approval goes to the board of directors for those who are awarded this opportunity. But what's even more special about this program is that, as far as I know, we are the only club in North America and possibly beyond and into the world that has ever created or implemented a program like this. So pending its success, our club will be known as innovators and trailblazers to other Rotary clubs around the world. If you have any questions or think you might know someone that this might be a good fit for, please see myself or Lynn or someone on the membership committee. I ask that you make me proud moving forward by finding good new members for this club that will help us grow and diverse and make this a successful program. Let's level up together. Thank you for that. That means a lot to me. And now we're ready to go right into the program. I'd like to invite Rotarian Martin Fedorko to the podium to introduce the program. Martin.
Good afternoon, Rotarians. What started as a small pretzel bakery in downtown York has transformed into the pretzelcompany.com, a growing direct-to-consumer e-commerce brand shipping York's favorite soft pretzels nationwide. Though e-commerce wasn't part of the original plan when York City Pretzel Company was established in 2014, the business's growth resonates with Philip's dedication to sharing authentic, hand-twisted, bakery-fresh soft pretzels with enthusiasts across the country. In response to the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic, York City Pretzel Company pivoted to a new mission: safely returning to work and shipping soft pretzels across the country to provide a taste of central Pennsylvania to those beyond our area. Today, the Pretzel Company operates from an 8,000 square foot bakery in Emigsville. Philip and his skilled team craft up to 20,000 hand-twisted pretzels daily, shipping them to fans nationwide. Noteworthy is the Pretzel Company's reach beyond its platform, including a co-manufacturing relationship with a major direct-to-consumer food brand. Additionally, Philip presents the company's delicious pretzels on live national television each month through their partnership with QVC, a leading direct selling platform globally. Remaining committed to York, the Pretzel Company has undergone significant growth, expanding from a small bakery with 4 employees to having up to 30 employees on the floor at any given time. On a personal note, I am incredibly proud of the partnership that's been created between the Pretzel Company and White Rose Ventures. This is a great story for York, and it's happening right in our backyard, the snack food capital of the world. Now it's a case study in what is possible when you decide to start and grow a business here in South Central Pennsylvania. We're extremely privileged to partner with Philip, Andy, Megan, and the entire team at the Pretzel Company. Without further ado, to share his insights into the Pretzel Company's journey from brick and mortar to growing e-commerce craft pretzel brand, please welcome the CEO of the Pretzel Company, Philip Gibbon.
He just brought the clicker up because he was worried that Aaron was going to steal it when he got off the stage. So we're in good shape. How's everybody doing this morning? Good. All right. So first, I want to thank Glenn for the invite, Martin for the introduction, Aaron, Cal, everybody at this table for the hospitality. Lynn, where's Lynn? Thank you for your assistance. Definitely appreciate that. So happy Valentine's Day. I have to first apologize. You may notice there are no pretzels in this building right now. And I owe you all pretzels. So we'll do that at a future date. Unfortunately, the snow put us in a difficult position yesterday. So there are no pretzels here, but I promise you, Megan is responsible for bringing them in the future. Fellow Rotarian, Megan Gibbon, is responsible for bringing them. So yeah, happy Valentine's Day. For those that are unfamiliar with me, I'm Philip Gibbon, and I like to say that I'm mostly an e-commerce nerd these days, but many of you have known me over the years with other hats. But today we're certainly pretzel focused, and I live in bread every single day. So I'm going to share a little bit about that with you right now. Maybe. Hey, there we go. All right. So this is where it started for us in 2014 at 39 West Market Street. Many of you in this room have been big supporters of us over the years, and I appreciate it. Before we took over at 39 West Market Street to build our little pretzel shop, this was a mixed-use cafe. When we took over downtown, this is what it looked like on the inside. So we poured our heart and soul to turn this little mixed-use space in downtown York into a retail pretzel bakery. We opened in 2014. Yeah, maybe. We'll figure it out. So we opened in 2014. You can see right there in the middle, that's Kyle Joins. I know some of you in this room know Kyle, used to work for the York County Economic Alliance. Kyle was actually our first customer at the York City Pretzel Company in 2014. And there on the right-hand side is the photo from our ribbon cutting. First Friday, December 2014 is where this journey really started for us. As you know, Megan is the smart one of the group when it comes to our relationship, but she's been with us every single day for this journey. And, you know, for many years, from about 2014 to 2019, you can kind of copy and paste our story in York. We were York City Pretzel Company. As Martin said, we like to think that we're York's favorite soft pretzel. And every single day, we were that pretzel shop in downtown York for many of you. We were a retail bakery. If you wanted to get soft pretzels, you could walk in the door, buy one pretzel, buy 6 pretzels. We catered many of your children's birthday parties. We were the pretzel shop downtown. Unfortunately, COVID-19 had some other plans for us, and we found ourselves in a position where we had to pivot. I like to highlight this. This is my favorite part about our new facility. Every single day, every employee that we have walks past this sign and that menu that was downtown. The York City Pretzel Company banner hangs proud in our bakery in Emigsville. And that's something we will absolutely never give up. And as we progress through this story, it's important to remember that we always consider our core to be downtown York and to be York City Pretzel Company. So how did a nerd like me, that on the left-hand side, that's a trip that my family took to a pretzel bakery in Lancaster in the early 90s. And it works really well for marketing these days to have a picture of me in front of a giant pretzel when I was a kid. In the middle, that's me in front of the bakery in downtown York in 2014. And then that's my brother, Andy, our COO, as we were figuring out how to run an e-commerce brand. So how did York City Pretzel Company become the pretzel company? You know, like many restaurants during COVID, we had to shut down. We were in an interesting spot because we lost almost 100% of our retail business in downtown York. Everybody that worked at a courthouse was not downtown. Every attorney was not downtown. Every city and county worker was no longer downtown. So we had no business to sell our pretzels. The other part of our business as York City Pretzel Company was a wholesale bakery. So if you had a restaurant or a bar or a brewery, we wanted you to have a York City Pretzel Company pretzel on your menu. During COVID, we found ourselves with no business. We had no customers. We had no reason for our employees to go back into the office. So at that time, we decided that we needed to figure something else out because being a retail and wholesale bakery during COVID-19 was not going to work out for us. We rebranded. We tried a little experiment back in 2020, and we wanted to see what would happen if we shipped our soft pretzels directly to your front door. So from our bakery, 39 West Market Street, we became the pretzel company, and we became thepretzelcompany.com. And at that time in 2020, from downtown York, we started shipping pretzels to 48 states. We hadn't quite figured out how to get pretzels to Hawaii and Alaska. We've since solved that problem. But we wanted to make sure that we always remained a hand-twisted product. So every single box that has ever left our facility, whether it's the old facility or the new facility, has been a hand-twisted York-made soft pretzel. So how did we do it? We brought our employees back to work. We remained closed to the public. And as we were figuring that out, we realized that we needed to convert that retail space that many of you are familiar with into our fulfillment and packing area. So in the Rosenmiller building that was built in 1919, we started shipping soft pretzels to 48 states across the country. And we worked to build our e-commerce business. I managed the shipping from the basement of the Rosenmiller building where the ceiling was falling down on top of me most days. We hand carted pretzels out the front door to UPS trucks and to FedEx trucks, and we made it work from our facility. But what happened is our marketing started to really work, and we started to become very popular on the internet. And, you know, we are at a point today, and I'll fill you in on that, where we are QVC's best-selling soft pretzel. And we like to think that we make the world's best soft pretzel, and it comes from right here in York. And we'll never forget our time shipping 40 or 50 boxes that we bought on the internet out to our customers. We do things a little bit differently today, but this is where we all started. You can see that that is the front spot of our retail spot. And that is my son in front of the first shipment of custom printed boxes that we ever got. And we thought it was a huge deal. That's about 500 boxes. It's important to remember that each and every bundle of those boxes had to be carried in individually through the front door of our pretzel bakery. To say that the building and facility that we were in did not match the business that we became would be an understatement. We are obviously, my brother and I run the company. We are family operated at the heart. That's my mom. During COVID, she spent many hours hand packing these boxes. And when we bumped up to the custom printed boxes, which is one of the most important parts of our brand, it was important that we always said "with love from York." So every box that goes out our door since 2021 has said "with love from York." Prepared apart for pretzel country. We started in 2021 to make it known that when you're receiving a box of pretzels from thepretzelcompany.com, you are receiving a part of York. So pretzel country, if you put a pin in York, draw a circle 100 miles, we like to say that that is pretzel country, and we are right in the heart of it. And if you pay real close attention, you can see that in these photos of our bakery, we are filling every single square inch of that space. We got busier and busier, and our marketing efforts continued to go our way into 2022. So this is leading up to the Christmas shipments of 2022, where we had shipped thousands of boxes across the country. Going into 2022, we realized that we needed to make a change. We realized that the retail space was never going to be our thing again, and that our home in downtown York was not the right fit for the business that we were currently operating. And you can see again, occupying every single space of that retail facility, all with the goal of packing, fulfilling, hand-twisted soft pretzels. So as our profile grew, our team grew, and our space was absolutely not growing. We're now using every square inch and ordering 3 times the amount of raw materials that we were ordering when we were a retail bakery. So we would have 200 bags of flour individually hand carted in our front door. We desperately needed to grow from where we are. Luckily, our customers didn't notice. Our customers love our soft pretzels, and this is the same recipe with some minor modifications that we've made since 2014. So all through this, we built our marketing profile. We hired a digital marketing coordinator. We worked with some local and international partners to grow our brand really beyond limits that we ever would have imagined. This photo is from March of 2022, and these are state reps from all around Pennsylvania that came to visit our weird little pretzel bakery in downtown York. And having conversations with some of them at the time, they thought that they were walking into an Annie Ann's, and they were walking into a place that was shipping boxes of pretzels. So it was clear that while we were doing a very cool thing, it was confusing to have us downtown. But the best part about this, one of the reasons that they visited York City Pretzel Company, the pretzel company, we wanted to shine a spotlight on our employees. We pay our employees well. We like to have a dedicated core of employees. At this time, we had grown to 7 employees, which was a huge deal for us at the time. In April of 2022, our profile got a little bit bigger, and I drove up to New York City. I was on national television promoting National Pretzel Day. This was the first time I represented pretzels at the national level. Now, I am 100% certain that they thought that York City Pretzel Company was from New York City. Because when I got there and I told the people that, yeah, I just drove in from Pennsylvania, and they were like, oh, normally people are just local. Like, yeah, York City, not New York City. So still at this point in 2022, we are downtown York. If you ever got caught up in our traffic, I apologize. When we had 18-wheelers blocking Market Street semi-illegally, when we had FedEx and UPS every single day taking boxes of soft pretzels around the country. But I remember taking this photo and sending it to my brother and saying, we have got to figure out a better solution than this. And this is my favorite. So if you are familiar with York City Pretzel Company, if you remember walking in those doors, and Ryan, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, you're in that one photo all the way back there. But yeah, so remember standing in this space. We have now, this was right before our first QVC airing. We have completely taken over that space. And what you see right here is us making it work. At that point, we're sending 300 to 400 boxes of pretzels out the front door every single day. We're getting weekly deliveries of corrugated because we don't have room to store those boxes in our facility. So what did we do? With the help of Martin and with the help of White Rose Ventures, we knew that we needed to find a better home for the business that we had become. So we shed the skin of 39 West Market Street, and we now are pleased to call this 8,000 square feet fulfillment center our home in Emigsville on Aberdeen Road. After 4 months of construction, this is actually a former welding shop that we converted to be our bakery, our fulfillment center, our storage facility, and the home of the pretzel company. Most importantly, for those following along at home, we have a loading dock and we have a garage so we can get these deliveries. But the back end is that we're now able to operate at scale. Instead of ordering 500 boxes at a time, I'm able to order 5,000 boxes at a time. It makes things very convenient, and the efficiency that we were able to achieve in this facility, you can't even really compare it to what we came from. The other thing that happened just before we moved into this facility is that we got contacted by a broker that represents food brands that then go on to QVC. So many of you are familiar with QVC, I'm sure. It is the world's leader in direct national television sales. To some of you, I understand that you're saying, why is this guy telling me what QVC is? Of course I know what QVC is, but to people under the age of maybe 25, they have no idea what QVC is. Fun fact, QVC, as of last month, sells more products on their iPhone app than they do on the telephone. So we are capturing a new audience. We're ready to serve QVC customers, and really scaling up was the goal of this new facility. And boy, did it happen with just enough time for me to show up on national television once or twice a month. You can see I'm also not very creative with my outfit choices on these airings. Consistency is key. I had to go through a whole training about it. So I wore a hat one time. Now every QVC customer just expects the pretzel guy to have a hat. So that's me. The very early QVC airings during COVID were still remote. So I Skyped in to QVC, but I did make it into the studio where we have found success. We're actually a top 50 food brand for QVC in just 1 year. And as I said, we are QVC's best-selling soft pretzel. With QVC, we've expanded our product line. No longer are we just making those signature hand-twisted soft pretzels. We have braids. We have chocolate stuffed pretzels that are exclusive to QVC. We have pepperoni stuffed pretzels, all really good things. But what this has also done is raise our profile once again. So as Martin said, one of the additional revenue streams that we gained in 2023 is a private co-manufacturing relationship with one of the internet's largest direct-to-consumer snack food brands. So they sell chocolate, they sell licorice, they sell caramels, they sell seasoned hard pretzels, and now they sell our soft pretzels, where their customers have access to hand-twisted soft pretzels on a platform larger than the pretzel company has ever had. You know, our team has grown from 5 employees to as much as 30 when it comes to peak season. When we talk about Black Friday, when we talk about the Christmas season, we've got 30 employees. We have automated many things and will continue to automate many things. One thing we will never automate is what makes our pretzel special, and that is the hand-twisted nature of them. So what's next for us? One of the biggest things that we're working on right now as we speak is redoing our website. So what you see on the left is a modified version of something that I hacked together in that basement in Rosenmiller in 2020. And what you'll see on the right, and if you visit thepretzelcompany.com March 1st, you'll be able to see our brand new site, all built with the goal in investing in new technology to help convert our customers to pretzel enthusiasts for the rest of their time with us. There's chocolate bombs, and it's important to remember, and I have to take a step back sometimes, this is how customers interact with us on a daily basis. This is how people discover the pretzel company. This is how people used to discover York City Pretzel Company. But for us, the most important thing is that pretzels are a shared experience. And whether you were coming into York City Pretzel Company and buying one pretzel for yourself or taking pretzels back to your family, or you're on QVC.com, or you're on our site purchasing pretzels, we know that we are delivering the best soft pretzel eating experience that you can possibly have. So as we focus on 2024, we are focused on expanding our production capabilities. We're growing into additional retail and wholesale distribution through food service partners and potentially breaking into the convenience and grocery space. Our goal to get the best soft pretzels into people's hands. Those guys right there, those soft pretzels. I apologize. I owe you soft pretzels. We were happy to be nominated in 2023 for the QVC Customer Choice Awards in not one, but two categories, Best New Brand and Best Appetizer. And later in 2024, in March, we are launching our first kind of expanded product, which is a private label sharp cheddar cheese with the Pretzel Company brand on it. We like to call it the world's best pretzel cheese for the world's best pretzels. So while we've grown, we remain committed to York. Every box that we send out still says York on it. It's something we will never lose, but absolutely not something we envisioned when we started this in 2014. If you ask me on the street what my profession is, I would say that I am a baker. That title has absolutely taken on some different meanings over the last 3 years. But I went from having a platform of you folks and 40,000 or 400,000 people in York City or York County now to having all 50 states. As of last month, we're able to ship to Hawaii and Alaska. So with that, that is all I have for you. That is the story of the very condensed story of York City Pretzel Company into the pretzelcompany.com. But if you can take one thing away, please know we do our best to represent York and send a damn good product out to the entire country. Thank you, guys. There's a microphone if anybody has a question. Aaron has the first question.
So when are you moving back downtown?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
He told me not to ask that. Well, I'm not done yet. No, I'm curious. What did it take for you to get on QVC? Because that seems so monumental as a part of your story. Were you approached by them, or did you have to work their process to be featured in that manner? Yeah.
So I'll answer your first question, because that is the question that we get. We probably field 3 emails a week from people who are like, hey, is your bakery still downtown? I tried to stop in the other day. My first thing is, well, if you haven't tried to stop in 3 years, maybe that highlights why we're not downtown anymore. The reality, though, is that it's very difficult and very expensive for me to sell you 1 or 3 pretzels, and it's very easy to sell thousands and thousands of pretzels in one shot on TV. So the most sustainable thing for our business and for our partners is to continue down the e-commerce path. QVC is a remarkably fascinating business in a fascinating industry. Our relationship with QVC started via a broker. So the Oliphant family is the broker that we use. Jeff Oliphant, who is the president of that company, is a former QVC personality. Now his job is to connect brands with the QVC process. QVC, some of you may be familiar with what it's like to work with a big box store, or heard in some of your channels what it's like to work with Sam's or Costco. Working with QVC is very similar. You only work with QVC on QVC's terms. So having a broker navigate that situation is really something that is a given and something that we had to do. There's a pretty intense vetting process. They wanted to make sure that we could handle it, and scaling to the level that we did really has proved that. It's a challenging relationship, and it's a bit of a beast that we deal with all the time, but there's something very invigorating and very satisfying. It's selling 20,000 pretzels in an 8-minute sales pitch on TV. It's also, for those interested in production, it's also very nice. I go on air on a Tuesday. We know exactly how many pretzels we need to produce the following week. We start producing them on Monday, and we are done with that QVC airing by Wednesday. So from a cash flow standpoint, production standpoint, QVC is a great relationship because we pretty much know what to expect every single time. That answer your question? Good.
Hi, Philip.
Hi.
So what's your biggest market for your pretzels? What was a surprising part of the world, the part of the country that loves your pretzels?
Yeah, I mean, we fill a couple gaps. Our pretzels have the ability to be kind of whatever that person wants. And what I mean by that is, we'll have somebody in Seattle that will email and say, man, I moved from Philly 20 years ago and I haven't had a Philly soft pretzel. You make the best Philly soft pretzel. I don't really make a Philly soft pretzel, but okay. Then we have people that will say, I moved here from Germany and I haven't been back in 15 years, and your pretzel is the closest that I've ever found to something in Germany. You say, thank you. not really making a Bavarian style pretzel. We kind of do our own thing. But what's important for everybody in this room to understand is that the pretzel company aside, you guys have 3 bakeries that you can go to and get fresh made soft pretzels within about 15 minutes of here. In most parts of the country, that is absolutely not the case. So what they have access to, maybe they have an Annie Ann's at the mall, but more than likely they're just buying a frozen soft pretzel in their grocery store. So where we really exceed is that connection between customers. We have a lot of grandmothers that are buying it for their grandchildren to share an authentic pretzel experience. But that is one of the reasons that we absolutely remain committed to the hand-twisted process, because all of our competitors out there on the internet, and there are more and more as time goes on, none of them are doing what we do, and none of them are making pretzels here in pretzel country. Back there, microphone, Jules.
Excellent presentation, Philip. Thank you. 2 questions. One, you described the loss of the storefront business. You also used to have wholesale
Yep.
Business. Are you anticipating, do you have those kind of wholesale relationships as well now? And then secondly, understand you're not going to bring pretzels back to downtown York, but you do have an interest in another dough related
It's true.
business downtown. I wonder if you could describe a little bit about that.
Yeah. So the previous picture of wholesale for York City Pretzel Company, we produced pretzels obviously from our bakery, and then we self-distributed to restaurants in York, which meant that my brother and I or some of our employees would physically deliver those pretzels to that business. We also had a relationship with a bread distributor that picked up loaves of bread in Philadelphia, then picked up pretzels in York, and then went to Chambersburg and Gettysburg and other parts of the state and sold pretzels. If we do it again, and the plan to do it again is doing it at a much larger scale, which would involve selling frozen cases of pretzels to a food service distributor. That food service distributor obviously would then distribute directly to those restaurants. And with that, we're then talking tractor trailer loads of pretzels, which we never would have been in a position to do. The second part to that question is there's 2 places in York that you can find our pretzels on the menu. One of them will not be surprising, and that is Collusion. Collusion Tapworks in downtown York has been a great partner of ours. Since they opened, I think we've had a pretzel on maybe before they had a full food menu, they had pretzels on their menu. So absolutely endorse Collusion. Please visit them. The other one, which might be surprising, is the Casino, but Hollywood Casino purchases pretzels at such a large volume that it makes a lot of sense for us to do business with them. So if next time you're at Hollywood Casino, you're at the bar, order a pretzel. It really helps us out. Jules, you're referring to Archetype Pizza, which is a restaurant that I operate downtown. Megan this morning said, you're going to get this question, why don't you just put pretzels on the menu at Archetype and then this isn't a problem? And we'll work on it. I'm sorry. It has not been priority, but I'll make it priority. But Collusion, I would recommend stopping at Collusion.
So I've been a fan since 2015 because have it made here that week.
Yep.
I had my kids rolling,
Yep.
learning how to twist pretzels, and I missed your sandwiches so much.
Yep.
But didn't know about the chocolate filled pretzels. So I have to go to QVC.
They're very good. And the chocolate filled pretzels started at a Downtown Inc. Sweetest Pint. Some of you have been on Sweetest Pint before. So we made those chocolate stuffed pretzels 6 years ago. And when we were coming up with new ideas for QVC, that was at the top of the list.
So I have 2 questions, but they're not directly related. So is your preference QVC or your direct website if you had a choice? I obviously have to go to QVC for chocolate pretzels.
Yeah, right now we're adding them to the new website though.
Okay. Okay. Just have to wait a few minutes.
Yeah. We made them exclusive to QVC until the end of this month. And then we're going to put them on our site. It's a complicated question, and it's a question Martin and I and Andy and I talk about a lot. QVC is nice for a lot of the reasons that I outlined before. It's really nice to be able to have such large orders and to not have to have products sitting around that we're not going to sell, right? The margins are consistent. They're not the best that we have in our mix of businesses. And The real value of selling on the pretzelcompany.com is the lifetime value of that customer, right? So if I find you and you live in Kansas and you get an ad for the pretzelcompany.com and you try my pretzels and you get a great coupon and you're going to love those pretzels, now I want you to order those for every kid's birthday and I want you to order them at every holiday. And that's really where the relationship and the money comes in with our site. So our site is definitely a long, nurturing experience. QVC is more like a shotgun where we just get all of these orders at once and send them out.
Great. My other question is connected to the mustard. From my experience,
Yeah.
there was always a mustard bottle in the box. Is that still the case with QVC? And what have you done for that business? Because I don't think that's connected to you.
Yeah, it's not. So since probably 2016, we have partnered with a company called Pilsudski Mustard out of Reading, and they remain our partner today. We actually also on QVC.com represent their brand. So when we launched on QVC, that box that we took had Pilsudski Sweet Hot Mustard. And we essentially talk about it as the same way I was talking about the cheese. It's the perfect pairing for the pretzels, but it is a Pilsudski branded product. They're really great partners for us. It helps from a sales perspective for me because I get to say that they're 45 minutes from us. They're a family-owned, multi-generational company. It's just good to talk about. We've at one point, we were not their largest customer. They also sell to Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. So if you go to Bass Pro Shops, you could get their mustard. But as of the end of the year, last year, the pretzel company is actually their largest customer. So we have helped that business grow as well, which is something we're insanely proud of. The cheese is our first foray into owning our own asset for a dip that goes in that box, though.
I have a really basic question, so excuse my ignorance on this, but what makes a pretzel different from a regular bread?
Yeah. So the question I would get more often and will help frame it is what's the difference between a pretzel and a bagel, right? Because pretzels and bagels are very similar. So our recipe is very, very simple. It's flour, water, yeast, salt, brown sugar, canola oil. When we started shipping pretzels, we started to add one more ingredient, which is dehydrated vinegar, and that acts as a mold inhibitor. So it keeps our pretzels fresher for longer. So with flour, water, yeast, sugar, canola oil, you can make any loaf of bread. I can make you a pizza dough. I can make you a loaf of bread. What makes a pretzel, what makes a pretzel is that before it goes into the oven, we dip them in sodium hydroxide. So sodium hydroxide is also known as lye. And that is what has made a pretzel since pretzels existed. They're actually invented by an Italian monk living in Germany. And it was a shared baking space. And they put that bread into a sodium hydroxide solution to preserve it. And the side effect of that, I just wanted to go back like 3 slides to the pretzel photo. The side effect of that was that it turned it really dark, caramely brown. So if you go to a good bagel factory or bagel bakery, that one right there. So the difference between a bagel and a bagel is in hot water, is boiled in hot water. So that gives it kind of a shiny, clear texture on the outside. We have that same shine and texture, but dipping it in a hot sodium hydroxide solution gives it that brown caramel color. A really basic question that I messed up and made too confusing. I'm sorry about that, but that's the answer.
I went onto the website and I saw that you ship the pretzels unsalted.
Yeah.
So when I get a box of your pretzels, what do I need to do before I eat it?
That's a great question. So like you see in the photo, obviously those pretzels have salt. So pretzel salt is very unique. If you took a pretzel or anything and put some salt on it, regular salt that you have at home, and put it in the oven, that salt is going to melt during the baking process. Pretzel salt is unique in that it doesn't melt during the baking process. We figured out very quickly that we couldn't ship salted pretzels. What happens is it wrinkles the skin, the pretzel melts off in the bags during shipment and adds moisture to it, which does a whole lot of nasty things to the product. So when you get it, it will look exactly like that, just without salt. So they're fully baked from our facility, a little bit of melted butter on top, as much or as little salt as you like. 5 minutes in the oven, you're going to get a pretzel that looks just like that. in my opinion, and there are people that would disagree with me, they don't need salt, one, but a day-old soft pretzel heated in the oven, I think is better than a fresh soft pretzel right out of the oven. It adds a little bit of crisp. It adds a great texture. That pretzel that you're seeing right there has the perfect amount of salt for me, but the beauty of including salt is you can put as much on it as you want.
What is the importance of the hand-twisted pretzel?
It's a great question. So our largest competitor on the internet is a company called Eastern Standard Provisions. If you get ads for the pretzel company, you will get ads for Eastern Standard Provisions. There's two things that make us different from them. The first is that they own, or they do not own, their manufacturing facility. So there is a faceless, nameless factory producing hundreds of thousands of pretzels a day with robots that are put into bags and then sold by that company online. So one, it's important that we are making our own soft pretzels and we're doing it the way that we always did. For the hand twisting, it's just not something that can be effectively replicated by a machine without looking like it was made by a machine. So when I go on QVC, one of the best things that I like to do is hold up two pretzels, because none of those pretzels are going to look exactly the same. With our bakers hand twisting them, they all look a little bit different, a little bit interesting. The real answer, however, is that texturally, machining pretzels in a way that would make them look like they're hand twisted works the dough and creates a denser soft pretzel. So twisting it by hand keeps the dough nice and relaxed. We give it enough time to proof, which makes them big and beautiful and brown and airy and delicious. So it's half really good marketing, but half also makes a better pretzel.
Tagging along to that, you hear a lot of companies talk about the inability to find manufacturing employees. What's your limitation there, given that culture of hand twisting and that superiority of hand twisting? How do you grow? Is there some automation component to your business that'll allow that?
Yeah. So two things. One, there's a lot of automation that we can have in the material handling process and the production process on both ends of that hand twisting step. So theoretically, I can automate ingredients going into the mixer taking it to the other machine that produces the logs for us. Then they can be twisted by hand, and then the rest of the process can be automated. So the portion of labor that I have that is skilled currently is a very small number of employees. But really, for me, it's about finding and cultivating employees that want to work with us and want to be in the business that we have. The core, I would say we have 8 full-time employees dedicated to the twisting side of things, and they are our bakery team, right? So that is what they do every single day. When we moved into that facility and first started fulfilling QVC orders, one thing that we did was hire a bunch of temp employees to help round out our crew. And that turned out to be a little bit of a mistake, to your point. There are some things that line level temporary workers can do. They can bag pretzels, they can box pretzels, they can take pretzels out of an oven, but they can't hand twist a pretzel. So now we have a program that if you're a new employee, you start in the bakery, there's some boxes we need you to check before you even start hand twisting a pretzel. And then from there, your work is sort of monitored and fixed until we let you loose and you get to twist pretzels by hand. I will be the first to say, I am not that guy. I haven't hand twisted pretzels in quite a while. I can do one pretzel really, really well. My bakers on average are twisting about 1,500 pretzels per person every single day. So they do a fantastic job. And we have created some products that back off on that hand twisted element just a little bit. So what you're looking on the left, that pretzel hand twisted, those nuggets that are just to the right there, I could teach anybody in this room how to make those nuggets. So again, it's some good marketing because yes, always hand twisted, but we're rounding out our portfolio with some products that are a little bit easier for us to produce at scale. The man in the corner.
Hey, Philip, I just want to tell you that I miss you in City Hall, but I'm curious, do you find the pretzel business as political as local office?
What? Wait, say that again?
Do you find the pretzel business as political as local office?
You know, one, it is something we struggle with is really not struggle with, but something that is important for us to do every day is to stay true to who we are, right? So, for example, I mentioned some big box stores earlier, Sam's Club, Costco, BJ's. We have a contact there, and we're in the middle of some conversations with one of those big box stores. But to get that pretzel out the door, we would have to make some sacrifices to our recipe and to what we are doing for our pretzels. So those are sort of the internal conflicts that we have. As we scale, we're still making pretzels, right? But if it doesn't have the pretzel company name on it, can we use a different set of ingredients? Can we automate more of the process and create a more commercial pretzel that just doesn't have our name attached to it? As far as politics, that is about as political as we get and I get. But I appreciate the question, Brian. Thank you.
If somebody shows up at the bakery, can they buy, or do we have to go to the web?
No, you just have to be really nice to whoever happens to open that door, and maybe you'll walk away with a. We did the Have It Made Here event for the York County for Explore York, which was last year. And for that, we opened the bakery up for the first time for tours. And on those tours, people left with some pretzels. But otherwise, no, it's a closed facility. And that's actually, I feel you over there. It's actually the state of Pennsylvania won't let us conduct that commerce in the same facility. So no storefront in the pipeline or just yet. Yes, you have to order them online. If you catch me on a good day, I'll be happy to bring you some soft pretzels though.
Take your time. Take your time. Oh, whoops.
Brought a whole thing up.
You forgot your wallet. Oh. Bill, my family and I have had so many fond and delicious memories of your pretzels over the years, and it was a part of our York City life. And I'm both proud and impressed at how you pivoted during that difficult time and how York City's downtown incubated your company. And even if you aren't there anymore, we're part of your success story. And it encourages other entrepreneurs to start in York City as well and follow in your footsteps. Congratulations on your success, for helping to put York on the map, and for putting so many delicious soft pretzels in so many bodies. Thanks again, Philip. We have some of the best programs, don't we? And in honor of the program, Phil has signed the book platelet for The World Needs More Purple Schools by Kristen Bell, and it'll be donated to Logos Academy along with a bookmark made by the students at Creative York. And we've got more great programs lined up for you, such as next week. So a couple of months ago, we had popcorn. A couple of weeks ago, we had apples. Today, we were supposed to have pretzels. And I'm going to hold you to that, Megan. He's off the hook. The buck has been passed. Well, next week, we're going to have, you remember Letterman's stupid pet tricks? Well, it's going to be like that without the stupid part. It's going to be kind of a pet trick kind of situation. We will hear from Terry and Jim Heck of Summit and Search Rescue. Founded in 1999, this nonprofit organization provides man-trailing bloodhound handler teams to law enforcement, local, state, and federal agencies, averaging about 80 to 90 callouts a year. They assist in both missing person cases and criminal investigation. Terry and Jim will highlight how the bloodhounds locate subjects and evidence, and about the uniqueness of the scent each of us, especially you, Calvin, and how the bloodhound uses that to find their man. And if I'm correct, there will be dogs and there will be demonstrations and a good bit of fun. Having an amazing Rotarian week. This meeting is adjourned.